And lawmakers are in Topeka today as the veto session continues. Now, they're looking at 15 bills which Governor Laura Kelly vetoed. This morning, the Kansas Senate overrode Governor Laura Kelly's veto of a bill banning gender-affirming care for youth. Now, Senate Bill 233 bans healthcare professionals from using puberty blockers, surgery, and hormone therapy to treat children whose gender identity doesn't match their biological sex. It also bans any state employee who provides care for children, including teachers and social workers, from using the child's preferred pronouns if they don't align with their sex. The issue now moves to the Kansas House for an override vote. This morning, the Kansas House overrode the governor's veto of the Abortion Coercion Act. And the legislation would make it a crime to make physical or financial threats against Kansans to force them to get an abortion when they've expressed they don't want one. The House voted 85-40 to override Governor Kelly's veto in the bill. It now heads to the Senate for an override vote there. On Friday, the Kansas House overrode the governor's veto of that tax cut plan. Well, the bill cuts state income taxes, property taxes, Social Security income taxes, and ends the state's food sales tax in July. That measure now moves to the Senate.